There are 4 sneaky ways a girl will test your confidence in the relationship. And if you don't know what these are, you'll be failing them miserably, and in by doing so, she'll be losing attraction for you day by day. However, if you do know what they are, you'll pass them effortlessly, and in by doing so, she'll gain more attraction for you, she'll have more respect for you, and she'll also be more dedicated to the relationship. These are 4 ways every single feminine girl will test you in the relationship. Once we've covered them, I want to go over 4 more. 2 of them are yellow card offenses. And what I mean by that, they can be corrected. They're not ideal, but you can get her back on track. 2 of them are red card offenses. And what I mean by that is, it's tickets. You're out of the game. Game's over for you. So the reason I want to go over these is because I've spent the last 5 years coaching guys how to get the girl. And there's not enough information. There's not enough content out there on once you've got the girl, how do you actually maintain that relationship, right? Because I've had hundreds of calls with guys, and every single call that I have with a guy goes like this. Tell me if this resonates with you. Hey man, what's going on? What are your goals with women and dating? Their response is always this: cool, I want more options with high quality women. I want to have abundance. I want to have choice. And if I'm in a relationship, I don't want to feel stuck there because I haven't got any options. I want to be in that relationship because I want to be with that girl. And then I say, cool, well, look, what is your long-term goal with this? Like, what are your long-term goals? And they always say this. They say, I want to find one girl. I want to build that relationship with her. And maybe, start a family if I want to, maybe not, but that's the end goal. Because of this, you need to know relationship game. The reason for this is because most guys think, when I've got the girl, I'll put my feet up. She's just going to love me because she's my girlfriend, right? That's not the case. When you get into a relationship with a girl, that's when the game starts. That's when you're playing on hard mode. That's when you put your foot on the gas and you actually level it up. You take it to the next level. I created a whole video on exactly how to do that. Click it here. There should be a little card on the screen. With that being said, let's get into the video. Why do girls test you? And there are a few reasons for this. If you're dating a feminine girl, right? Remember, this channel is focused on feminine girls, not ball breakers. She wants to be led. Feminine women want to be led. And for them to have trust in you, she needs to test you. She needs to see when you're challenged, how do you deal with those challenges? Because she's looking up to you, right? She needs to know, if I'm following this leader, I need to know that he's capable. That's the first reason why a girl will test you in your relationship. The second is that she needs to know whether she has power over you or not. And if she realizes that she's got power over you, ironically, that's when she stops trusting you, right? Because her goal is to test you much like life. And if you fail those tests, what she thinks is, when life tests this man, he's not going to pass. Therefore, he's not a capable leader. Therefore, I'm going to lose attraction to him. I'm out. Cheers. There's a famous quote, I don't know who said it, but it goes along the lines of, life tests men while women are the bystanders. And that's what women want to see. When they test you, do you stand up to their tests? Because they will be thinking, when life tests you, can you do the same? So what are these tests? Test number 1, she'll argue with you about things that she knows she is wrong about, just to see if you'll change your reality to match hers. Now, when I'm speaking about a lot of these tests, you might think that's quite conniving, that's quite mischievous, it's almost malicious. It's not. A lot of the time when feminine women give you these tests, they're not actually aware that they're doing it. They're not actually aware they're doing it. They're doing it on a subconscious level. They've just been programmed to do this over millions of years of evolution to see how you're going to stick up to these tests. So how do you overcome this? When a girl is challenging you on something that you've said, on a belief system that you have, it's important that you're very strong in that belief system. Now, obviously, you need to admit when you're wrong, right? I'm not saying that you just need to be stubborn until death, because no one wants to be with that person that can never admit that they're wrong. But at the same time, you need to be firm in your beliefs. If you have a specific belief about something, don't change it. Right? Even though a girl will test you and say that you're wrong about that, it's important that you stick to that belief if that's truly what you believe in. A lot of guys, what happens is that they think that if they agree to that belief, they think that if they just agree with a girl in terms of whatever she says, then she'll be more attracted to him. She won't. It'll turn her off so fast, she'll be out of there. She'll turn her off like a light switch. So don't do that. Again, admit when you're wrong, but be firm in your beliefs. Test number 2, she'll change her mood just to see how you react. This is probably one of the most common things that a feminine girl will do to test you in a relationship, and it's just to see how you react. Again, remember what we were speaking about before. She wants to know, do I have massive influence over this person? And if she does, then she's going to be thinking, actually can't trust him. So how do you overcome this? You stay strong. You don't let her mood influence yours. You don't have to become a dancing monkey and try and lift her spirits, but you have to be stable. You have to be grounded in terms of your masculine energy. And you don't shift your energy based on what she throws at you. This is very relevant for daily life. When you have tough situations thrown at you, how are you going to respond to that? When you don't have a good month in business, how are you going to respond to that? When things don't go your way, how are you going to respond to that? When the government maybe throws a curveball, how are you going to respond to that? She needs to know that she can trust you. And one way to do that is by testing whether you change your state based on her state. It's a big no-no. Stay grounded, be present, take a deep breath when you see that her state shifts. And what you'll find is that the more present you are, the more you'll be able to bring her out of that state as well. And the crazy thing is that once you do that, what you'll notice in the moment is that she's far more attracted to you, because whether she's aware of it or not, 99% of the time she's not, is that you have proven to her that you are worthy of leading her. You've proven to her that you are stable in your masculinity and that the environment is not going to shift your state. Number 3, flirting with your boundaries. Now, obviously there are boundaries that you can set, from don't speak over me to, don't change your tone in a disrespectful manner. And those go all the way to don't sleep with someone else. Now, obviously, depending on where flirting with the boundaries sets, that determines, what course of action you need to take. But most of the time, a feminine girl will just flirt with your boundaries just to feel your presence. And this comes in the form of her maybe being a little bit cheeky in a playful way, and she needs to feel you put her in her place. And this is an extremely powerful turn on for her, because she likes to feel that you have boundaries and that you do put them in place and that you do enforce them. Now, like I said before, 99% of the time, these are just going to come in cheeky little playful tests that don't really mean much, but she just enjoys a little bit of pushback. Obviously, the more extreme they get, that'll determine how you deal with them. The final one, this is not so much a test from the girl, it's more so a test from the environment, but she will be standing there judging you as the bystander to see how you react in that situation. And that is, when life tests you, do you buckle or do you make a plan and continue? And this is more of a masculine trait rather than a way to self-preserve in a long-term relationship, right? You need to be masculine. You need to understand that with whatever happens, you're going to be fine, right? Because if a feminine girl has chosen you to lead her, to be that masculine role in her life, she needs to know that she can trust you, right? And obviously, things are going to go pear-shaped in life many times. And the severity of that thing, often it doesn't depend on the thing itself, but how you react, right? And oftentimes she will respond in such a way. If you are completely relaxed, if you understand that you can get through it, whether it's financial, emotional, maybe a family member dies, whatever it could be, she'll trust you, right? And finally, the 4 darker tests that should not be ignored. The first 2, again, yellow cards. The second 2, red cards. You're out of the game. Cheers. Number 1, talking about her ex. This is not a conversation that any man should entertain. That conversational topic is just off the cards. You should end that topic once, display in a calm manner that you're not interested in speaking about it, and that's the end of that. You never need to think about that topic again. And you need to make it quite clear. Again, never from a reactionary place. Never are you being emotionally impacted, but you are stating firmly and clearly what you don't enjoy about that. Number 2, trying to make you jealous. Now, there's a difference between a girl coming home after a day and saying, hey, I just wanted to make something clear. This guy hit on me in the street or wherever I was in the cafe, and her doing that from a position of trying to make you jealous. Now, the first is obviously, very respectable. I appreciate that when my girlfriend does that. That is not respectful at all. And there's no step-by-step guide to know exactly when it's being done from that position, but 90% of the time, you'll just feel it in your gut. There'll be something that you just don't enjoy about the way that was done. And you can call that out and make it clear that you don't enjoy that type of behavior. The next 2 are red cards. And what I mean by this is these are quite hard to come back from. And the reason for that is because they are indicative of what that girl's behavior will be like in the long term. So it's easier just to avoid that type of behavior in the short term and just get rid of the girl, find another one, because this is just going to spell trouble for the rest of your relationship. Seeking attention from other guys when you're out with her. This is just a no-no. Seeking attention from guys when you're out with her. Now, this is a red flag of note. I've been out with guys and their new girlfriends after a month of dating. You've been in a club and you've seen them just have that cheeky little eye, that eye of trouble where they're trying to make eye contact, they're looking around to see what's going. I know from that instant that is just going to be issues down the line. You need to get rid of that behavior. I wouldn't even correct it. If I was with a girl and I saw her doing that, I wouldn't even speak to her about it. I would just get rid of her. Next girl, unacceptable. The final point is disrespecting you in public in front of other people. Again, big no-no, red flag, out the door, next. You can't put up with this behavior, and the reason for this is because that it's gonna get worse. If you're seeing this type of behavior early on in the relationship with a girl that you've just started dating, I can guarantee that it's going to get worse, because there is always that honeymoon phase, right? When you start dating a girl, the first 6 months, absolutely amazing. Oh, it's great, it's lustful, it's awesome. And then after that, she actually steps into a true character. She drops her guard, and then you see who she truly is. Now, if she's doing these sorts of things early on, I can guarantee that they're just gonna get worse down the line. So it's better to weed out this behavior, depending on the severity of what that is, earlier rather than later. With that being said, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope this is insightful, and I hope that you can use these to create an awesome masculine, feminine dynamic in your relationship where she looks up to you and she respects you and you protect her, you provide for her, and you have a great relationship together, because that is one of the best things ever. You know, the 3 biggest decisions in life are what we do, where we live, and who we spend our time with. So obviously who we spend our time with and the dynamic of spending time with that person is extremely important. I would highly recommend that you try and find a feminine girl rather than a ball breaker from the Anglosphere. It's a much more pleasant experience, and you can step into your true masculine role. Whenever I've coached guys and I've taken them to places like Latin America or Eastern Europe or Southeast Asia, it blows their mind. They just think, where the hell have I been the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 7, actually that's a lot, decades. But normally it's where have I been the last 2 or 3 decades, right? So I hope this video has helped you. If it has, leave it a thumbs up. If there's anything that I discussed today that you want to speak about to me one-on-one, send me an email, journeyofles@gmail.com. We'll be in communication. Apart from that, I'll see you in the next video. As always, peace.